No, you. You're the one that I adore. And I can't take this anymore. No. Baby, I'm back with another one. So, I was sitting here and I was watching and reading because that's what I do on my pastime. I be watching and reading. You know what I'm saying? What's funny is I watch readings because for me it's like the soap operas of like the spiritual world or the spiritual realm or the spiritual aspect of things, and it gives me some insight and clarity onto what or into what I'm already feeling or picking up on, yet I don't know how to like bring that message to volition or like speak on it, because it's like I don't know whose energy this is. I'm feeling it, I know what I'm feeling, but I don't know, whose energy it is or whatever the case may be. And anyway, I was watching this read and I love this lady, lovely. I was watching her and she was talking and I was like, dang, that resonates so deep what you're talking about. And then she had mentioned the song Faith Evans, I Love You. And I was like, oh, what is that? What is that about? And I started singing a song, right? And for some reason, I was like, okay, I'm going to record a video because I have the urge to record a video, right? And so she says, I'm going to pull the lyrics out. She said, I love you and I want you. You're the one that I adore. I can't take this anymore. Let's see lyrics. My heart belongs to you, so what could I do to make you feel I'm down with? You see me hanging around, but you don't know how you make me feel for you. And each and every day, I try to make some sense of this. What you mean to me, I know it could be serious. Each and every night, I dream about just holding you, loving you like this. What is a girl supposed to do? And then the chorus says, I love you. I want you. You're the one I live for. I can't take it anymore. I love you. I need you. What can I do to make you see you're the only one for me? And then I'm thinking of the first time I saw your face. Okay. My heart just erased all the guys I knew before you. You walked into my life. I was the type to never want for nothing. Each and every day, I try to make some sense of this. What you mean to me, I know it could be serious. Each and every night, I dream about just holding you, loving you like this. What is a girl supposed to do? Now, I know that she is singing this from a feminine's perspective or from a female's perspective, but for some reason, I'm picking this up as if I was a guy or a masculine or a man. And so I don't know whose energy this is or whose energy I'm picking up on, but I said I was going to record it because I told you in my last video I'm working on being comfortable with doing card pulls online and just rocking with the energy, like being confident in my gift, in my craft. And so the song I just keep hearing, I love you, I want you. You're the one that I'm probably butchering the words. Like I know I'm butchering the words. Like she says, "You're the one that I live for. You're the one that I live for, and I can't take this anymore. You're the one for me, and it's plain to see." Okay, so let me stop tripping because I'll be tripping hard. Okay, sorry y'all. Sorry y'all. Sorry y'all. Sorry y'all. Sorry y'all. So, like I said, I was picking this up from a masculine's perspective, a masculine's point of view. And what energy I'm picking up is that there is a man or masculine energy, divine masculine, whatever you want to call it. It just feels like a guy that is deeply in love with someone and he has not yet shared it or said it or stated it to this feminine or to this woman. And it's like he sees her or he's around her or he has come into connection with her some kind of way. Almost like, like you're at work or in a work situation and you see this person that you got a crush on, like crushing. He's crushing on her. Thank you. He's crushing on her hard. And it's like she kind of knows that he's crushing her, but she's not quite sure. And it's like I'm picking up on both sides. It's like I'm getting it from both sides. Like the girl was crushing on him and he's crushing on her, but neither one of them know that they crushing on each other type situation. And so I'm strongly getting it more so for the masculine side though. Like I really feel this guy's energy like it's like, damn, if she only knew how much I really looked at her, or if she only knew how much I really felt for her, or if she only knew how much I'm really like, digging on her. Like I wish she would just, damn, what do I say to her? How do I approach her? How do I interact with her? How do I let her know how I'm feeling? But at the same time, I'm trying to maintain my shit and I don't want to come to her or step to her knowing that I don't have my shit together. So let me like, it's like he's torn between wanting to interact or connect to this woman or this feminine or this female, and he's fighting himself because it's like also I have my own shit that I'm dealing with too, like life and bills, responsibilities. He may have children, he may have an ex, who knows, I don't know, I just know this is what I'm feeling. And so it's like he's making the decision, a conscious decision, that he wants to move forward and he wants to step out his comfort zone and he wants to talk to this girl. And he's like, yo, I gotta holler at her, but what if I holler at her and she be like, no, I ain't with that shit? Or what if I holler at her and she be like, no, I'm not with it. I'm just gonna shut him down. Or so it's like he's hesitant to approach this woman, or he's hesitant to approach this female. And it's like the feminine on the flip is like feeling the same way. Like, damn, I kind of like him. I'm digging him. But at the same time, I'm not about to jump out there and holler at this dude. Like, what I look like hollering at a dude? I'm not a dude. I'm a whole female. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a chaser. I attract. Like, women have to understand that you're not supposed to chase. You are not designed to chase anything. Women are designed to attract. Men are supposed to be the pursuers. And like, that may be old fashioned, but that's just my take on it. You know what I'm saying? So like what I'm getting is that he wants to pursue her, but it's like he's second guessing and doubting himself. And it's like he kind of looks at her as like she's kind of out of his caliber or out of his range. And he's like, well, I know if I deal with her, I'm gonna have to step my game up. I can't come half ass or half hearted. I gotta be on my ding. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know why I'm picking this message up like this, but bro, I'm trying to tell you. So, like, what that's stuck to my hand. What I'm feeling or what I'm getting from this situation or what I'm picking up that spirit needs me or wants me to relay is that you have to trust your intuition, right? You have to trust your heart. You have to trust, your instincts. And your instincts will never steer you wrong, but you won't know what the outcome will be until you test yourself or put yourself in that situation or scenario. So you got to be willing to take the risk and take the lead and like step out on faith. And that's pretty much what faith is. Trusting and believing that, oh, it's too close. Trusting and believing that, what it is that you're seeking is also seeking you. What it is that you're desiring is also desiring you. And so I was talking to a friend of mine and I was telling her, like, you keep looking for relationships and situations outside of yourself, but you have to find that within yourself first. When you find what it is you're looking for inside of yourself first, and you make connection with that part of you first, and you feel within yourself first, then and only then will you be able to seek and or find it outside of you, because we project our outside environment, like as above so below, as within so without. So it's like whatever you are able to manifest or dream of or think of or imagine or feel internally, you will be able to do the same outside of yourself. You'll be able to manifest it or draw it to yourself, or seek it or locate it outside of your inner being. Nothing exists outside of you. And I know that sounds crazy, but I digress. But nothing exists outside of you. And so in order for you to find what it is you're looking for, you got to find it in yourself first. You got to be confident in yourself. You have to trust in yourself. You have to have some faith in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to understand and know yourself and take time with yourself and be confident within yourself to know that, whatever it is that your heart is desiring, it's the best thing for you. And sometimes we want and we desire things that are not the best things for us, but you won't know that until you actually step out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take that leap of faith. Like if you were thinking about, or you were connecting it to like a deck of tarot cards or whatever the case may be, the fool takes the leap. He's the beginning of the story. He is the beginning of the journey. The fool goes on his journey, the fool's journey. He's stepping out to see what he's going to come into connection with. You know what I'm saying? And so if you never take the opportunity to step outside your comfort zone, how do you know what you like and don't like, or what you into or what you're not into, if you're not willing to take that leap of faith, right? And so many a times what happens is that we come into connection in relationships with people or beings or persons, and they break our heart, or they don't rise to the occasion, or they miss that mark that you're looking for. They miss that je ne sais quoi, right? It's always something that seems to be like off, or something winds up happening and you guys butt heads, and then it's like, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't be together. And a lot of times people don't just walk away gracefully, or bow out gracefully and be appreciative of the relationship or the connection that they once had. Most of the time it ends in a tumultuous or traumatic, or in a traumatic experience, right? And so we walk around with a lot of like burdens in our heart and burdens in our minds, and like these ideations and like traumatized states of mind. So like when we go to try to build a new relationship, it's like, well, I ain't about to do that because in my last relationship this was happening. You know what I'm saying? So you build these barriers and you build these walls, but all in all, you are blocking your own blessings. It's not to say that you should not have a boundary or have a standard. It's to say that you're supposed to learn from that relationship or learn from that situation that you were once in. I'm a strong believer that everything that happens to you for a reason. Every connection that you come into it's happening for a reason. There is a purpose behind building a relationship with somebody. There's a purpose behind me walking down the street and seeing the chick in the window or whatever. It's a reason behind it. I might not understand it at that moment, but it was a reason why that happened. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason. And like your life is a preordained or preordestined journey that you're supposed to go on. And so I think of life. A friend of mine, she had an assignment, or her daughter had an assignment, something like that, and she was asking me like, "How do you view life?" And I was like, "Well, I can view life in several ways." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I look at life as like a painting." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Every experience that you encounter is a stroke of the paintbrush. It's a part of the image, and every experience that you have and every occurrence you have is a different stroke or a different color. And when life is over and you come to your demise, you look back and you see the full picture, the full painting of the canvas." So that was one way I described it to it. And the second way I described it to it was like puzzle pieces, right? Because I'm an artsy, crafty, creative type person. I love puzzles, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you think about life as a puzzle, right? Every scenario, situation, outcome, every cycle you go through is a puzzle piece. And when you get to the end of your journey, end of your road, and you begin to cross the threshold of life to death, you look back and you see all your puzzle pieces that fit into place, and the areas where they were supposed to fit into place, and you see your whole picture, right? And so it's the same thing when it comes down to relationships. And it's the same thing when it comes down to connections and communications with people. We don't always understand why we're in connections and communication with people when we're in the midst of the situation. Yet, as time goes on, we begin to look back, or we can look back and see, oh, that's why that happened. Oh, I remember when this happened. This is how I reacted. This is how I responded. Going forward, this is how I'm going to look at it differently, or this is how I'm going to change it, going forward. Because there was something in that situation that I was able to detect, learn, or pick up on, or discern. And I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time people be like, I don't want to do that anymore. So when you get, like, when you first meet somebody and you're in a relationship with your boyfriend and girlfriend and your kids, and it's that puppy love. You're so in love with the first little person you got a crush on, and you can't help yourself. You get giddy, and you get butterflies in your stomach, and every time you see him, you're snickering or you're smiling, and even like the little girls, they your name and their name together in heart symbols, and your name with their last name. You go through these phases and cycles of love and connection with one another, right? Or connection with another person, because your heart is becoming open and attached to them. And then once you attach to them, or you build that connection with them, or that relationship with them, and you go through that cycle or that scenario with them, you begin to see things differently. Now, some connections, I'm gonna leave that like that. Um, some connections wind up, being lifelong connections where you bonded, and your souls have become entwined in such a way that that's your person. You have your soulmate. You have your true divine being. And then there are times where you come into connection with someone and you think, oh, that's the love of my life. And then as you get further into the relationship, you realize that the both of you were wearing masks. Right, you were excited. It was, it was enticing in the beginning, and it was ooh, and you were all drawn to each other, but you really didn't take the time to, like, pace yourself and get to know that person. And because of that, you get into a relationship, and then 4 or 5 years down the line, you realize, whoa, what did I get myself into? I'm comfortable, but I'm not really happy. I'm comfortable, but I'm locked in because now I done got a baby, or we got kids, or whatever, or we done got married, and we really were not evenly yoked. We were just infatuated with each other, or infatuated with the idea of being around each other, or being connected with each other in a mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual sense. And so I don't know how I got to this point, or like in this conversation, but I just feel like this was needed to be relayed, right? And so this guy that has this crush on this girl is walking around with all these burdens inside and all this brokenness inside. And he wants to release what he once had, because he sees that she is the puzzle piece that he's looking for, or that she is the correct paintbrush for the right stroke to finish his painting or his image. And so I was like, I'm gonna do this love reading. I was like, I'm gonna do this love reading. I don't know. I'm just in this mood. I was chilling, and I heard the Faith Evans song, and I'm like, okay, download. Let's turn the camera on and record. So I laid out cards. I pulled 2 different decks. The first deck is the Love Oracle, and the second deck is the Psychic Tarot Heart deck. And so I pulled out these cards, and I don't know what came out. I just was flipping, well, now it came out. And so I'm gonna read the cards to you and go from there. And so the first card, it says to give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. So to this guy, whoever decides to watch this video, this masculine, this man, this divine being, you already have what it is you're seeking. It's already yours. You found it in yourself. You're crushing on it, on there, like I'm crushing on that girl. I want that girl, right? But in order for you to crush on her, in order for you to even have that notion or that feeling towards her, you had to find that and understand that feeling within yourself. And once you understand that feeling within yourself, that confidence will come to actually build that connection or step out on faith, right? Just the idea itself to even have that notion or emotion just rise up in you to the point where so you can't hold it back anymore, where you're just so drawn to just, okay, I can't help why I keep wanting to be attached to this girl, or it's just something about her. It's a song, and I just heard the song that came to my mind. His name Jay Howe. It's something about her. All right. I can't think of the words. But it's like he's drawn to this female, even though they not locked in no serious relationship or anything like that. They were just dating. They were getting to know each other. And then he was like, well, he's seen her out on a date with another dude. And he's like, well, damn, I get that. Cause like, we not locked in. We not in no serious situation, but it's something about that one person right there that I can't help myself. And so it's like, okay, when you figure out what that is within you that is drawing you or attaching you or that has you being pulled towards her, when you begin to understand it within yourself, what you seek will also begin to seek you. Don't ask, I don't even know why I'm channeling the message the way I'm channeling the message, but I just feel like it's going to make sense to whoever watches this. Second card, it says, if you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind. For the heart is the gateway to the soul. So that means you have to be willing to look inside your heart and open your heart up. Like for me personally, I know that I definitely did close my heart. I did. I closed my heart when I was younger because of the trials and tribulations and the traumas and things that I experienced. And there are parts of me that I am still somewhat guarded because of what I experienced and going through. And it's not to say that I'm not open to love, because I'm a hopeless romantic. You know what I'm saying? I already know how I get down, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and that's a big but. And but is a canceling word, and I don't typically say but because but negates what you said prior to that. I learned to establish boundaries and standards. So yes, I'm a hopeless romantic. However, I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? I'm not just fly by night. I'm not just with the next thing coming. I'm not on the night train. Why? I'm sorry. But it's just like you have to be conscientious, alert, and aware. You have to also know to protect yourself. So that means take your time. Many of the times or reasons why people wind up getting into broken relationships or traumatic relationships is because they were not paying attention to the lessons that they were supposed to be paying attention to at the time that it was transpiring. Many of us hold on and don't want to let go because we're codependent, or we're drawn to a certain thing, and we just don't want to be by ourselves. But that's fear of letting go. That's fear of trusting your own self. And so I had to learn to like let it all go. I don't want to possess or connect to nothing that don't want to connect to me, and it ain't of light, love, and positivity. You might as well go ahead and be free, friend, because I ain't got time for the shenanigans or the bullshit. And so it's like, I've learned to detach from everything. And just because I'm detached from it does not mean that I don't care for it, or I don't think about it, or I don't, put energy or intention to it or behind it. I'm just not attached to it. It's not mine to possess. I am my own person to hold on to and attach to and possess. I don't ever want to be so enthralled in something else or someone else that I lose track of myself or lose connection to myself. I want to always be connected to me and be grounded within me and draw to me what needs to be drawn to me. And so, with that being said, like attracts like, and real recognize real. And so the next card that came out was Twin Flames. And so it says your passion ignites. And so what I'm learning in my self-love journey, and what I'm learning in my process of, learning to love again, because that's what really had to happen. I really had to learn to love again. And my process of learning to love again, I had to learn to love myself first before I love anything else. Anything else, anyone else. And people be like, well, what about you? Understand that I love my higher power, my higher source, because it is the creator of all things, is the creator of me, right? But I said in my previous video, God is omnipresent. God is omnipresent and omnipotent. If God is omnipresent and omnipotent, that means I am God and God is me, and we are one and the same. We walk hand in hand simultaneously, because I was given the divine right of God's source energy. We all were given divine right, God's source energy. We were divinely created in His image. So we're divinely created in the image of God, or the image of God. Then we too should understand and know our sovereignty to a degree, right? And it's not to say that we are holier than thou and we are better than the creator and all that. Not it's Let's just kind of nix that. Just stay with me and understand where I'm going with this. In order for you to love anything, you have to love yourself. You have to understand and love and know who you are, who you were created to be, and why you were created the way that you were created. And when you begin to learn and get to know you and sit with you and talk with you and take time with you and listen to you, listen to your heart, listen to your body, listen to your emotions, listen to your thoughts, and begin to understand and discern and know what's yours and what was something that you picked up that didn't actually belong to you, or something that you picked up along the way, or something that you adapted to along the way that really is not resonating with your soul. When you learn how to detach and release and let go of the things that no longer serve you, and you begin to call yourself back to yourself and call your energy back to you, the parts of you that you gave away knowingly and unknowingly, unbeknownst to you, when you begin to call your power back and you begin to call the parts of you that you didn't even know you that existed, or you begin to knock on the door of your soul to understand more and know about yourself, you begin to brighten your energy. Your bioluminescence begins to wake up. You begin to spark the light within you, or you begin to ignite the light within you, or you begin to ignite that heat, that passion within you to understand and know you. You're tapping into your heart chakra. You're tapping into your soul, the essence of your soul force energy, your reason of being. And as you begin to tap into that and you begin to pour into yourself, loving yourself, respecting yourself, I said in a previous video, your body is a temple. When you start really treating your body with love, exercising, drinking water, eating right, taking vitamins if you gotta take vitamins, sleeping, because sleep is the best thing ever, baby. But I tell you, I love me some sleep. I used to be a go getter, and I'm not to say that I'm not a go getter now, but when I say I worked 5 jobs at one time, and I was rolling, shorty, I was rolling. I was burning myself out. At the time, I had the energy though. I ain't feel like I was burning myself out. I was just doing my thing, right? Until I collapsed in the damn kitchen and didn't even know what the hell happened. Woke up, came to, and was like, "Come on, we gotta go." And the kid's like, "Man, what the hell wrong with you? You just passed out. Do you realize you just passed out?" Because I wasn't listening to myself. I was not giving myself permission to love myself and take care of myself. So it's like when you begin to love yourself and take care of yourself and listen to yourself and pour the same energy that you put into other people, the intention, the attention, the just care, when you put that stuff back into yourself first before you give it to anybody. I made a video that says catch me in the overflow. When you put that stuff into yourself and you begin to fill yourself up, and when people start saying little stuff to you, you're like, all right, whatever, okay. That's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So you're gonna say whatever fuck you want to say. They talked about Jesus, they're gonna talk about you. They had an opinion about Jesus, they're going to have an opinion about you, right? They had a thought about Jesus, they're going to have a thought about you, right? You can't control what somebody else got going on. What you can control is how you react and respond to self, and how you react and respond to outward stimuli. And so you have to learn to accept yourself for who you are. And the next card is acceptance is the key. It says acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are, even though it might not be what we wanted to be at that point in time. Accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond your control. And so it's funny because this morning I was driving to work with my homegirl, and she was like losing it. She was going off. And I'm like, friend, calm down, friend. Calm down. It's all right. Just breathe. I'm like, I feel you. I know where you at right now. You want 1,000. I need you to come down, but I got you. I understand where you at. Breathe. And so I was like, yo, you need to say the serenity prayer. And she was like, oh my God, I just watched something. And I'm had to hit up because I gotta find out what the movie was called. But she was like, I just watched something about that. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, look, say the serenity prayer and really hone in on that prayer. Think about the serenity prayer. The serenity prayer says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Meaning, help me to accept the things around me. I can't control the outside forces and the outside, variables that go on. Life be lifing, right? Life is going to life, regardless of whether you wanted the life or not. Your job is to accept what's going on around you to the degree that, okay, well, that's going on. This is what I can do about it. But if I can't do anything about it, keep it moving. Accept it for what it is. Okay, that's what the situation is. That's what the scenario is. Okay, well, I can't go back and undo it and change it or turn it around any other kind of way. But this is how I can show up for it. Right? That's the serenity prayer. Knowing when to nip it in the bud and knowing when to be like, all right, you know what? It is what it is. I gotta wash my hands of it. And so I feel like this message is going all over the place, but it's okay. It is what it is. Like, that's where healing comes into play. And that's the next card. It says, imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. And so healing is not just outside of you. Healing is internal. And if you really want to be connected to your divine person, if you really want to be connected to your guy or your girl or whoever, because I don't know who might listen to this message, you have to trust, detach. You got to move. You got to take it whether you winning or you losing. And you got to keep moving on. You know what I'm saying? You can't stay stagnant and stuck in a situation just because it's what you're used to, right? The card on the top, it says strengthening bonds, right? You can't stay stagnant and stuck in a situation because that's your comfort zone, especially if you're really not genuinely happy, right? Or being fulfilled. Because in essence, what you're telling yourself is that I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. And everybody deserves to be loved. Everybody deserves to be heard on and appreciated and acknowledged for who they are. Everybody deserves to be seen. Everybody deserves to be respected on all levels. So it's like, I know I started this video singing the song, like the Faith Evans song. Right? Do you really love you? Because once you start loving you and pouring into you and appreciating you and acknowledging you, and you have the desires of your heart and you make them plain and you're clear and you're honest and you're trusting and you're having some faith to believe in the Most High, and you just know that you know that you know, and you feel in your heart that you are connected to you, that is nobody else like you, that is nobody else in this world that's going to be like you. That's when God going to surprise you. That's when you begin to manifest. That's when you begin to pull the things to you and you begin to come together, right? I don't know why I can't see it. But that's when you invite and love. Okay. And the last card, I'm not gonna put on more than that because they really talking to you, baby. The last one is to rebuild. And that's where we have to learn to be. You always gotta learn to be in a teachable, coachable mindset, no matter what it is, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a school, whether it's your children. Excuse me. No matter what it is, you always want to stay in a teachable, coachable mindset. That's a true leader. A true leader learns and knows how to follow, how to listen, how to take heed to the things that's going on around them, how to, respond accordingly and react accordingly and think outside of themselves and not just, you know, of themselves, but think outside of themselves. Oh. Like think outside of themselves so that they're being empathetic and sympathetic, right? I tell people and my students, and I tell people all the time, treat people the way you want to be treated, regardless of how they treat you. Respect their space and the space will respect you. What you give is what you get. What you put out is what you'll get back, right? It's like, if I'm not mistaken, the law of duality, like as above, so below, as within, so without, like right and wrong, up and down, in and out, over and under. Like it's the law of opposites. I don't know. It's one of them laws, but which reminds me, I need to study that. I'm gonna make that a note. Study my laws. But yeah, like the universal laws. Like I dabbled in it and I researched it and it's like how you learn something and then you apply it. Like for me, I know when I really study something, I learn something, I absorb it. I actually begin to apply it to my everyday life so much so that it becomes a habit. And then I don't think about it. It's so much of a habit that I it's just ingrained in me. You know what I'm saying? So it's out of sight, out of mind. I'm just living it. It's naturally who I am. It becomes a part of me. Like I absorb it so much that I want it to be a part of my everyday existence and how I function, how I flow. So it's like sometimes I forget the technicalities of it, but I'll never forget the principalities of it or the understanding of it. And it's out. Goodness gracious, I can't get the part. But I know this message was long. I know this message was jumping all over the place. And I'm getting better with my readings. And I'm getting better with tapping into my intuition and being confident in relaying my readings and, getting comfortable with pulling my cards on camera or whatever the case may be. I just, like I said, this was sitting with me and I felt like it was something that needed to be talked about. It was something that needed to be relayed. I don't know why it was in my energy, but it was like, all right, let's just throw it out there. And, I pray that whoever listens to it, it resonates and it makes sense to your heart, your mind, and your soul. Okay? And so with that being said, I'm out of here, lighthouses, light bugs. Okay, light bugs. Yeah, that's gonna be my little thing. Hey, my little light bugs. Peace of shame and a say to thine own self be true. Peace.